So if you're like me, you may have been playing some other games the last few weeks other than Destiny PvP. Halo 5, Black Ops 3, Battlefront, there's plenty of great titles to choose from, but I've been actually getting back into Destiny PvP. Super excited for the Destiny weapon update that's going to change a lot. Iron Banner's much better right now, and Trials of Osiris has some pretty sweet rewards. So here's some tips to help you get back into Destiny PvP if you've taken a bit of a break, and if you haven't, this might be a nice refresher. Number 1, run a reliable setup. Don't be trying a bunch of crazy new gear, use what you're comfortable with. This will let you focus on the gameplay rather than contesting with a new gun that you're just not used to. Some of the best PvP primaries right now, not all of them, some of them, Cer's PDX-45, Hawkmoon, Hawksaw, Red Death, Nerwin's Mercy, a Year 1 Messenger, Bad Juju. I'm sure there's more than that, but off the top of my head, it's about all I can think of. Now, I bet most of you have at least one of those weapons in your arsenal. My second tip is positioning. It's very powerful in this game. I think we can all recognize the fact there's an element of lag in almost every Destiny match. So usually whoever gets the first shot on the opponent comes out ahead as long as your accuracy's decent. You're not dropping too many shots in a shot string. With that said, pre-aiming and pre-firing is crucial. Pre-aiming is where you are already lining up a shot before the opponent is there. And then pre-firing is firing a shot when you think they're about to come around the corner so that they sort of step into the bullets. And that's a big part of this game. You'll notice here, a lot of the enemies are positioned around the corner waiting for me to push into it, which I'm going to do, and get murdered. They were positioned much better than myself. If you're the aggressor, I'm a pretty impatient player, I know it's one of my weaknesses. And if you're a very impatient player and you charge around the corner into somebody who's set up, pre-firing, who's got that shot lined up, you're at a disadvantage and it's very hard to outplay them unless they make a mistake and drop a bunch of shots in their shot string. So how does positioning come back to you? Well, it's repetition, it's looking at patterns and recognizing where your teammates are, where they're engaging, and a little bit of spawn knowledge. Good all the way back to vanilla Destiny. The precision damage multiplier is, bad blink. Sorry, dude. The precision damage multiplier is very powerful. Regardless of what weapon you're using, headshots deal more damage. It's important to know with your gun what the precision damage difference is versus body shots. That way you have a rough idea of what a perfect scenario would be. How many bursts or how many shots does it take to kill an opponent if I land all of my precision bursts on him? That's something that is very easy to forget, and if you watch any vanilla Destiny tip videos, you'll see, because it was all auto rifles back then, what a big deal headshots were. If you weren't landing those precision shots, you'd lose a lot of engagements. If you take a look at the December weapon patch notes, I've linked them down below, and we'll talk about them in a future video. Precision damage multipliers are going to matter even more as auto rifles make their way back into PvP again, or at least that is what the developers are hoping. At the start of year 2, they tried to make auto rifles a very viable weapon type in PvP, and they just haven't been that popular because the high rate of fire, low impact pulse rifles have just been dominating PvP. One of the reasons pulse rifles are taking a bit of a hit, I think, in the December weapon update. The last thing I'll say about positioning is pattern recognition plays a big role. This is just a personal opinion, but I think noticing situations that you've seen before plays a large part in the decisions you make and where you put yourself on the map. If you've played Asylum 1,000 times, you know what it's like to try and take that center room. Or if you've played Pantheon, you know that these long sniper hallways are usually full of people hard scoping in before you even go around the corner. So you might just choose to avoid that area of the map altogether instead of trying to pop out and shoot 2 guys or 3 guys who are already lining up that snipe, already hard scoping down the lane. Number 3, don't get frustrated and play multiple games. The first 10 matches I had back felt very uncomfortable, like a fish out of water, sluggish and slow. But after about 25 games, it started coming back. I felt more comfortable on the sticks. It's like anything that you need to practice, like musical instruments. Musicians have a word called chops, and that's basically how comfortable you are playing the instrument. Now, you'll never forget how to play a musical instrument once you've learned, but you might have forgotten the piece, you might have forgotten the technique, it might have all lessened your skill to a degree, so you have to work your chops back up. Same thing is true with Destiny. Number 4 is a mentality thing. Focus on your decisions, not your teammates or the win-loss. Unless you're playing with a full party of 6, we can all agree, right? There's an element of chance in regards to how good or bad your teammates are. If you're just playing by yourself, it's like rolling the dice sometimes. So just focus on your own decisions. Don't get frustrated at your teammates' decisions. You can't change that. The only thing you can affect are your own plays, choices, and decision making. So after a death, ask yourself, what could I have done differently? And don't focus on the win-loss. It all circles back to the thing, unless you have a party of 6. Then if you have a party of 6, you guys can talk together and say what went wrong, or let's go for the W. Each game, we want to get to Iron Banner rank 5 before everybody else. But if it's just you and maybe a buddy, only focus on your choices. Don't worry about the win-loss. StarCraft players, they train their own decisions. They might have made all the right choices 12, 13 minutes into the game, but at the 14-minute mark, they made a bad choice and it ended the match, right? Well, does that invalidate all the right choices they made up until that point? No. So you can't just look at the win-loss as the only indicator. Those are my tips to help players get back into Destiny PvP after taking a bit of a break. If you found this video helpful, even if it's just one of you, please let me know with a like or a comment. Share your own tips coming back into Destiny or some things that you think are pretty important. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to be back on the Destiny PvP play grind as we work towards that December weapon update. Have a great weekend. Good luck in Iron Banner. We'll talk to you next time, Guardians.